Kurzgesagt, Kurzgesagt. It's been a while. It's been a while. I skipped a few of his videos because I was catching up with other ones. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna pick and choose his videos. The ones that like kind of catch my eye and I find interesting, I'm gonna react to it. You feel me? Just so I'm not bombarding myself with reactions, bro. I need to find a limit, okay? I need to find a limit. Cause I ain't gonna stop doing videos. It's just not being backed up so much, you feel me? This is not an anti-meat video. I figured why not? He's talking about food. I like food. I'm trying to watch what I eat. Maybe he gonna spit some sauce over here. I like meat, pause. We gonna see. We gonna see.
This is not an anti-meat video. We've all heard the arguments against meat, and yet in the EU and US, only between 1 and 6% of people don't eat it. Meat is just too tasty.
How many?
Between 1 and 6% of people don't eat it.
Damn, bro. 1 to 6%. Damn. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I've been seeing a lot more people turning vegan, you know what I'm saying? Or switching their diet in general and just avoiding meat, bro.
Meat is just too tasty, convenient and ingrained in our culture for most of us to consider giving it up. Also, food is personal.
Could y'all give up meat? Like, let's be real. Could you guys truly 100% give it up, bro? I'm talking like, I'm gonna say cold turkey. Would you guys give it up cold turkey? And if not cold turkey, how long do you guys think it would take you to give it up? Because boy, it's gonna take me a couple decades. I'm just being real. A couple years. I just couldn't, bro.
And nobody likes to be morally lectured. At the same time, we love animals. Most of us have pets and believe in animal rights. Few things make the internet as angry as animal cruelty. Both are true. We love meat and we love animals. Unfortunately, most animals we eat live in truly horrible conditions. We don't torture them for fun, but because it makes meat just a little bit more incredibly cheap. If we all paid just a tad more, we could avoid most animal suffering, often just for a few pennies per meal.
In consideration of this, what he's talking about right now, it's so much deeper than that, bro. You got the chemicals they be putting in the food, how they process it to speed it up because they gotta push it out to make money. There's so much things behind the scenes, bro, that majority of people, and I say majority because, bro, when I was in high school, maybe like junior year, maybe sophomore, junior year, I learned a few things of how like the food is processed. Like I've seen videos, you feel me? Health class, they showed videos on how these things are being made and processed and all of this, bro. And it's like, that was high school. I feel like I learned that late, you know what I'm saying? I learned all about that late. And there's still more to learn and see that we don't know about when it comes to food.
Disclaimer: farming is complicated. Many farmers are genuinely trying to give their animals the best life possible, but they're trapped in a complex system with extreme market pressure to keep prices low. No two countries have the same standards, no two farms are equal, and solid data is often scarce. We've done our best to combine data from different regions and
for the purpose of this video, we assume all changes in production or wholesale costs transfer directly into retail prices without adding surcharge.
Prices you pay in the end. To keep things simple, we're going to classify farming practices into 3 broad groups: decent, prisons, and torture camps. This is a bit sketchy, and you've probably seen many more categories in the supermarket, like organic or grass-fed. We'll come to that later. So, fellow omnivores, what would it cost us to avoid animal torture and still have our fried chicken?
So much.
Chickens. At any given time, there are about 26 billion chickens alive on Earth, as many as all other birds combined. Chickens seem dumb, but they're social, can communicate, solve problems, and feel empathy.
Mudkip.
And yet,
I'm an idiot. That's not Mudkip. That's not Mudkip. I'm a
social, can communicate, solve problems.
I'm a fucking idiot. Torchip. Is that the name of the Pokemon? Let me get it right. Don't, hold on. Y'all not finna quote me. Hold on. Torchip. Torchic. 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 Hold on. Hello? Y'all see it. Torchic. Sheesh. I said Torchip. Oh my god.
And feel empathy. And yet, we keep the vast majority in insane torture. Let's start with eggs. Worldwide, about 90% of laying hens live in torture camps, crammed in extremely tight cages where they can barely move. They're unable to show any natural chicken behavior like nesting, roosting, foraging, or pecking at the ground, so they become extremely frustrated and end up hurting each other badly. To stop this, many farms clip their beaks. In the US and Europe...
Whoa, clip their... How does that look?
Legal bans and consumer initiatives have improved the situation a lot in the last few years.
How does that look?
But still, more than 50% of hens remain in cages. The insane thing is that this doesn't even save a lot of money. Let's say a dozen eggs costs you around €360 or dollars, 30 cents per egg. How much does it cost to free the hens? The main alternative to cages are barn systems. Hens are still kept indoors, but have twice as much space and roam freely. Barns are prisons. Still not amazing, but so much better. In the EU, barns increase the consumer price by about 2 cents per egg. The somewhat decent alternative is free range, where hens are allowed outdoors, often with proper access to vegetation. In the EU, this increases the price by about 7 cents per egg. Housing aside, one of the cruelest practices is chick culling. Male chicks don't lay eggs, so they're killed right after birth, usually by gassing or grinding. This is a really widespread practice used for caged, barn, and even organic eggs. 7 billion baby chickens are killed this way each year. France and Germany have banned this, so many breeding eggs here are scanned early and only female birds hatch, which may have increased costs by only 2 to 5 cents per egg. So if you pay 85 cents more for a dozen eggs, you can make a difference between serious chicken torture and pretty decent chicken lives. And for another 60 cents, you can help end chick culling too. Chicken meat is a different story. Most meat chickens today are genetic freaks, bred to reach amazing weights incredibly fast. Their internal organs are under a huge amount of...
They're fucked. Yep. That's what I was talking about, bro. The steroids, the sprays, pesticides, everything they use, bro.
Stress, and they can't even walk properly because of their weight, which causes them a lot of pain for much of their lives. It's hard to give exact numbers here, but if farmers were to switch to breeds that grow slower and suffer far less, a serving of chicken breast that you buy at $1.50 would become 9 cents more expensive in the US. 90% of meat chickens in the EU live in prisons or torture camps. They're kept indoors in extremely crowded conditions, with sometimes dozens of birds per square meter, often in the dark and with poor ventilation. So what if we moved them all to prisons? One EU study found that giving them 30% more space, perches, fresh air and daylight would increase the price by another 13 cents per serving. Probably less than 5% of meat chickens live free range in relatively decent conditions. This meat is actually noticeably more expensive, double the price of regular chicken. But chicken is the cheapest meat, so depending on the cut, you'd pay 35 cents to €1 or dollar more for a serving of chicken that had a decent life.
I'd rather pay more, bro, because like everything in general is going up in price. If chicken is going up in price, they might as well do it the right way and I'll pay that. You know what I'm saying? Why am I paying more for a chicken caged up like this? You feel me? Everything is going up. I'd rather pay more and get this than pay more and get this. That's just me.
Depending on the cut, you'd pay 35 cents to €1 or dollar more for a serving of chicken that had a decent life. Pigs. Pigs are basically dogs. They're as intelligent, social and playful as our wolf buddies and make lovable pets. So pigs really feel how they live.
Pig is a pet? I don't know about that.
And arguably have it
I
the
don't know
worst
about
of
that.
all animals we eat. Probably
What do you say?
how they live, and arguably have it the worst of all animals we eat.
100%.
Probably more than 90% of
100%.
all pigs live in torture camps. They spend their entire lives indoors in extremely crowded spaces on concrete floors without straw or bedding. Since this is far from what they need, they get frustrated and often fight. Piglets have their tails docked to stop tail biting. Most males are castrated after birth so that their meat will taste better, often without pain relief to save time. Mothers are kept in crates, extremely tight metal straitjackets where they can't move at all. This leads to extreme suffering for the mother and for the piglets, which are held in a barren area separated by metal bars and taken away at just 3 weeks old. Imagine treating dogs like that. First, let's get to the...
Imagine it was dogs and not pigs. Oh my god.
First, let's get to the prison level. Getting rid of crates would raise the cost of a €2 serving of pork by about 20 cents. Anesthesia for castration costs almost nothing, around 1 cent per kilogram of meat. And a study in Denmark found that giving pigs more straw and bedding material and 30% more space and other things that are more animal friendly would increase the price per serving by another 20 cents. This is still an awful life for an animal this intelligent, but obviously much better. For 40 cents more per serving. Going one level further and giving pigs outdoor access for at least 40% of their lives and 300 to 400% more space indoors would increase the price per serving by another 80 cents. Just over 1% of pigs in the EU live in these or similar conditions. We can't know if this is really okay for such a smart and social animal, but it starts resembling something decent. And all for about $1.2 or euros more per serving of pig. Cows.
Man, 1% is fucking bonkers. Bro, I'm gonna mention this just because it keeps popping up in my head. As he's talking about, you know, if we do this, it will raise the cost this much, right? Now think about it, right? These corporations, these companies, buying the end product, right? Or buying the animals or the end product of, you know, all of this going on. Are they cheap or are they greedy? Or both. Or both. But I ask that because it's like, we often hear so many times of like, oh, corporations are greedy, this, and that. But then they're out here trying to find the least expensive thing. So they're acting cheap. You feel me? I don't know, bro. I'd say both. I'd say both 100%. But it's just a thought. It's just a thought, bro. It's like you're greedy, but you want more, so you're willing to pay the cheapest price. Are they cheap or are they greedy? You feel me?
Cows raised for meat have it the best because they usually spend about 2/3 of their lives outdoors, making their lives pretty good. If they were in the wild, it'd be basically the same thing, but less safe. Their lives are far from perfect though, especially at the end. The vast majority of cows spend the last months of their short lives in finishing feedlots, either prisons or torture camps, where they're fattened to reach their slaughter weight as fast as possible.
Damn.
Probably less than 5% of beef cattle in the US have lifelong access to outdoor pasture.
5%.
And yet, a recent
Better than
German
one, I
study
guess.
found that it only increases the price of beef by around 15%. The life quality of cows varies widely even within countries and regions, depending on the available land, climate and farming traditions. So it's really impossible to make more easy and cheap suggestions to make their lives better. Dairy cows do have it much worse. They're often kept indoors for most of the year and suffer pain, sole ulcers and lesions from standing on concrete. But once again, none of these things seem to be needed to have affordable milk. In Germany, outdoor pasture increases the price of the milk by about 10 cents per litre. We could go on with many other animals and farming practices.
Fuck being lactose intolerant, bro. Yo, I used to dog milk, bro. Like, I'm talking about like every night when I was young, every night before bed, I'm drinking a glass of milk, bro. Nice and cold. I like it cold, not warm. Nice and cold, bro. I can't do that now. Fuck being lactose intolerant, bro. It's so annoying. I hate it. I hate it.
But the summary is clear. For the animals we eat the most, upgrading their living conditions from outright torture to somewhat decent may cost you about 15% more for beef and milk, 50% for eggs and pork, and 100% for chicken meat. The meat of the issue. Opinion part. Meat has gotten so cheap that we have to torture animals to keep
Hey, opinion part. Remember that.
Prices insanely low. This really is all there is to it. Food in developed countries is the cheapest it's been in history. In the US, the largest meat consumer in the world, an average person spends $337 a month on food, $88 on meat, eggs and dairy.
88 average cap. Average? No fucking way. 88 average. No fucking way. I don't believe that. That shit gotta be higher average. Where's he getting this average from? Is it from a different year or something? Oh, it's from 3 years ago. 3 years ago? Nah, bro. This, okay, I get this. Average, yes, even in 2025. This? Ah, bro. I just can't believe this. No fucking way.
If these became an
It's
average
higher now for
50%
sure.
more expensive, that would increase the monthly expenditure on food by about $43. This may sound like a lot, but relative to income, this only means paying as much for food as US consumers did in 1987. In Germany, the average person spends about €70 a month on meat, eggs and dairy. If we increased prices by 50% on average to make the lives of these animals better in a really meaningful way, this would rise by about €35 to about €100. If this still sounds too expensive, it may be because around 20% of all meat people buy is simply thrown away. Meat
Alright, hold on. Throw away, right? Waste of food. How about these restaurants? These fast food places, these restaurants, getting rid of their food. Literally, end a shift in the trash. Why not give it out? Why not go to a shelter and just give it to them, bro? Have people eat it. Why are we throwing edible food out just because it's there? I ain't gonna lie, bro. They gotta implement something like that. A law or something where these companies, these restaurants, at the end of the day before they close, they gather all their food and they take it somewhere to feed people, bro. Stop tossing shit in the trash.
got so cheap that we often don't eat it before it goes bad. It's no longer valuable. Okay, so if you go shopping, what can you do? It can feel like you can't do anything as an individual consumer, but this is not true. The market follows demand. So if you don't want to buy torture meat, look at the labels on holding conditions. If there is none, it is torture meat for sure. If there is, well, it's complicated. It's often unclear what different labels mean.
Hey, man. I'm sure there's rules and regulations to being able to put these labels on their packages and stuff. But hey, you never know. It says grass-fed. Could be cap. Natural. Could be cap. You never know.
If they're strictly enforced or legally binding. Some are great, others whitewashing. And we haven't talked about the most expensive meat so far, organic meat.
Deadass.
You've probably known.
Why is the healthy shit more expensive than anything else? What kind of ass backward ass shit is that, bro? The thing that's meant to help people is more expensive. Why is everything ass backwards out here, bro? Why?
Notice that many price estimates we've given here don't quite match your experience in the supermarket.
Fuck no.
This is in part because some retailers consider ethical products luxury goods and charge an even higher price, and also because many labels like organic, natural, ecological, bio, or the worst of all, biodynamic, often contain a lot of extras or pseudoscience that have nothing to do with animal welfare. Many, but not all of these labels include some of the best practices mentioned before, but not necessarily.
Oh, I see. It's more expensive because it's done right. I get it. Okay, okay. I don't know, bro, because I know earlier I said I'd rather pay more for the good shit, and I would, but I don't know, bro. I just feel like, listen, there's too many resources out here to be on some bullshit. There's too much resources and plenty, infinite, unlimited amounts of money, right? To be on some bullshit, to be doing bullshit. I'm just saying.
Necessarily all. Organic brands often include, for a lack of a better word, stupid measures, like forbidding GMO feed. As we covered in another video, banning GMOs doesn't do anything good for you or the animals. It just makes your food more expensive and seem more natural, while you are consuming unnatural animal breeds, living a deeply unnatural life. Unfortunately, the label situation in many countries is extremely confusing, often on purpose. All too often, we don't know what we're really buying.
With
so,
love.
grudgingly, if you can afford it and want at least a high chance of torture-free meat, go for the label. If you can afford it, buy organic. If you can afford it and have time, research local farms and get your meat from a place you've seen yourself.
Facts. It's another thing. You know a farm, go support them. Go give your money to them. Get you some fresh, good, nice, natural food products. You know what I'm saying? I was literally thinking of this, him saying this. I literally thought of this in the beginning, bro.
Have time, research local farms and get your meat from a place you've seen yourself.
Yep.
There's one exception, too good not to mention. Mussels. They suck up carbon and filter water, making coastlines cleaner. Calling mussels dumb is giving them too much credit.
Patrick.
With no central nervous system and probably no thoughts or pain, they're basically moss. Really, everyone should eat more mussels. Okay, let's wrap up.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
You don't need to be vegan to think the current situation is unacceptable. The conditions of most animals we eat are hard to stomach and could all be avoided if we paid as much for meat as our parents did. Things are slowly getting better, at least in the West. Consumers can push the industry in the right direction if we bite the bullet and pay more. If you can't afford this, maybe eat a bit less meat. Don't throw meat away. Maybe avoid the worst torture meat like pork, at least sometimes. And push for legislation that bans the most horrific practices. We can help make the lives of billions of animals dramatically better.
These cameos are nice, bro.
It really is that simple.
Bro, his videos make everything seem so, like, just so easy, bro. But like I said, it goes back to what I said. There's too much resources out here and too much money going around in the world for constant BS to be happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do shit right. I don't know, bro. Listen, if I sounded contradicting in this video, I'm sorry. It was a lot of info. I learned a lot. It's just like I don't know, it's just like being in the middle of things. We are literally in the middle of this, bro. We are the consumers. We're in the middle of everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even know what be happening behind the scenes, bro. American here in the Atlanta, GA area. Cheap eggs are 42 cents each right now. Cage free is 47, free range 75. February 25, 2024. How about we increase the prices by 50, but don't make the animals live better? Meat companies. Deadass. All right. I think he mentioned it. It probably went over my head. All right, and then going back to this comment, they increase prices, but they keep the same practices in order and like still going. Does that mean the people who are doing it naturally, they could? I mean, they for sure could raise their prices, and they're doing it the right way. I don't know, bro. I don't know. This reminds me of an article where a pizza chain said that covered health insurance for their workers would cost a whole 25 cents extra per pizza. 1252 seeing Peppa Pig quickly scroll by made me roar with laughter. You guys gonna do a second chapter all about our consumption of seafood? A seafood video would be fire. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be tough. In the US, free range isn't what people think. What they are imagining is called pasteurized. Pasteurized? Pasteurized. It said pasture. If we paid as much for meat as our parents did, I'd like to pay as much for housing as they did too. 100%, bro. Oh my god, bro. Everything's just too fucking expensive, bro. It's just too expensive, bro. No bullshit. Doesn't mind. Let me know what you guys thought.